MAGA diehards, come to the front. This one is for you.
Donald Trump's declaration of war this morning against Iran is not only foolhardy, hypocritical, and disturbing, it represents the beginning of the end for the MAGA movement in America. Let me explain why I think that is and why there is such an opportunity for Democrats to seize on this moment. Now look, to be clear, many people and political prognosticators have declared the MAGA movement dead over a number of years. But the reason why I say this today, the reason why I say it is beginning of the end for the MAGA movement, is that today's actions that Donald Trump took in declaring war against Iran represent everything that the MAGA movement is supposedly against. The reality is that Donald Trump ran and has run on being anti-war. As you recall in the 2024 campaign, a large part of the closing message from Trump and Vance and Stephen Miller was that Kamala was going to get us into war with Iran and Trump was going to stop it. He was, quote unquote, the pro-peace president. Even in his current administration, Trump has claimed that he's pro-peace, that he's stopped all of these wars. He has given himself Nobel Peace Prizes for stopping war and even the inaugural FIFA Peace Prize. None of these are real, to be clear, and he has been the opposite of the peace president, but that is what Donald Trump wants you to believe. That is what his supporters want you to believe. But today was different. Today was something new. Trump today even going so far in saying that Americans may die because of the actions that we are taking in Iran. The people who have been true MAGA acolytes, and when I say pro-MAGA, I mean not pro-Trump always, but pro-MAGA and the ideology that it purports to represent, are very anti what Trump did today. People like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Tucker Carlson and someone like Matt Walsh are all saying that this was a massive mistake. When I say it's the beginning of the end for MAGA, it's not the end of the Trump regime or Trump influencing people. That's not true. Over the next 3 years and beyond, we are going to see this tremendous fracture within the Republican Party of people like a Tucker Carlson, like maybe even a Nick Fuentes, like a Marjorie Taylor Greene, who believe in the original principles of MAGA, at least as it relates to this anti-interventionist policy. On the other side of that fracture, we are going to see the Marco Rubios, the Donald Trumps of the world, who are pro-war and pro-intervention and anti-peace. Now, of course, I think both sides are horrible and suck and their ideas are really ruinous to this country, but this provides an opportunity for Democrats to take a very clear stance here. Not every Democrat is going to agree, but by and large, in my opinion, we ought to be the party of no war, of peace. And if Democrats can do that while Republicans are fractured over the issue of MAGA versus Trump, we'll be in a much better position. But for now, it's the beginning of the end for MAGA.
Before you go, MAGA people, please stay at the front. Stay at the front. We still need you. Please, there's something you have to listen to.
If you voted for Trump, go enlist in the military so we don't have to do a draft. Go, this is your war to fight because you voted for it. You voted for this war, so go, get your camos on. Go use that Second Amendment you constantly defend after school shootings. Go! And don't say you didn't know he was gonna do this. We told you how many fucking times, and you still voted for him. You knew what he was capable of, and you still voted. Go! Get your camo on! Hurry, get your camo on! The tanks are leaving without you!
Courageous American heroes may be lost, and we may have casualties. That often happens in war.
Donald Trump is so afraid of the unredacted Epstein files being released and him being exposed as the PDF that he is, that he has decided to start a war. And he basically said, you know what, American people are going to die, but that's what comes with it. Oh well, he doesn't even care. If you do look at the statistics,
So y'all mean the whole war with a whole other different country is to deviate the world from the Epstein files? Is that what you're trying to say? That the man has created a war just so that the unredacted files are not released? How serious is the information in those files that someone would need to start a war to take away people's attention from them? What exactly are you guys trying to insinuate here? What?
If you do look at the statistics, you will see that, majority of veterans voted for Trump, and, active duty service members overwhelmingly voted for Trump. This is what they asked for. So do I feel bad for the ones who didn't? Of course, right? But the ones who did, no, I don't want to see any MAGA people coming on the internet begging for prayers for their daughters and their sons who are in the military, who are getting deployed, who are stationed overseas, who are stationed in the Middle East at these bases that are under attack by Iran. Trump started this. This was not a, unprovoked attack. Iran came after our bases because we came after them first, right? And I also don't want to hear the people who say, oh, you need to respect our troops and, thank them for their service and stand up for the flag and all of that. This is what y'all voted for. I didn't vote for this. So I don't need to do anything. I don't need to do anything but sit back and watch it play out. And I pray for the people in the military, because I know people in the military who did not vote for this, and they're getting wrapped up in foolishness because this man is so scared that, those Epstein files are going to come out.
No one seems to be more patriotic than a MAGA supporter. MAGA supporters, this is your opportunity to show the rest of the world how patriotic you are. It's America first, yada, 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 all this other stuff. You see what's happening. There's war going on right now. And what better way to represent your country than to sign up, join the military, and go fight for America, right? Iran versus America.
It is your time to shine. That's why we called you to the front of the class, because they're addressing you directly, that it is your time to shine with the patriotism that you have for so long talked about and exhibited in talk, on social media channels, in speeches, wherever. Now is the time to showcase that same patriotism in actions in the war that your president started.
Just think about it. You being a part of that, MAGA, don't let this opportunity pass you. You know what I'm saying? This is your pinnacle moment that you can really show how proud you are to be an American. Since there's no one else in America more patriotic, no one loves America more than you do. You know what I'm saying? And no, you won't be fighting for corporate interests. No, you won't be fighting for oil. No, you won't be fighting for none of that stuff. Just good old American values, philosophies, and just, American norms and values. And I hope you get used to, eventually you'll get used to it, the smell of burnt flesh. You know what I'm saying? I hope that doesn't bother you. You'll get used to it over time. Or the sight of your friends just blowing apart. Those are things you'll get used to with time, okay? But do not let this opportunity pass you. You understand? To show the world how proud you are to be an American. Okay, MAGA? This is your chance. Sign up and support your man's Trump. You understand? Proud to be an American where freedom isn't free. America, baby. Let's go, MAGA.
But just for the MAGA people that are feeling betrayed, because we all know that when President Trump was running for office, part of his message was he is pro-peace, he is anti-wars, and his message was clear: I'm going to come in, stop all of these wars, no new wars. So, just in case you're feeling betrayed.
Why does Trump keep starting wars abroad despite him promising he wouldn't? Like we've just seen with Iran over the weekend. You might say classic politician, or it's because of imperialism, oil, even that Iran needed to be stopped from getting nuclear weapons. But I want to emphasize something different here. The role played by people inside of the US government in shaping US foreign policy. So let me break down the bureaucratic politics theory in 2 minutes. Here's the key idea. You shouldn't think of the government as a single unified actor. It's more a collection of different parts that negotiate with each other. Foreign policy, it's a result of that negotiation. I know it's still very theoretical, so look at the US strikes on Iran. You have the US military with Pete Hegseth that might push for something specific, like a military strikes. Then you have the State Department with Marco Rubio, who might push for a diplomatic solution. Then you have JD Vance, who's more closely aligned with the MAGA base. He's probably trying to avoid foreign interventions because it will cost him politically, since he's betraying the MAGA base. In the middle of all those people that are influenced by their institutions, you have Trump. That's the part of the theory that is key. When an issue pops up, those different people present solutions that fit what they want. Foreign policy is a result of the negotiations between those different subunits. In the case of strikes on Iran, probably the Department of War or State Department pushed for military strikes. Now, I'm not telling you this to downplay Trump's responsibility or actions, but rather to help you understand how foreign policy is actually made. You can read this to dig deeper.
I hope that sort of gives you a clearer understanding of what is at play here for some decisions to be made, so that you either exonerate the president who is the face of the decision, or you add people to the betrayal list, or add people to the people you're going to blame. I don't know, but that is a very interesting insight on what is at play for some decisions to be made.
You know, I see a lot of Republicans online celebrating Donald Trump's war in Iran, and they're happy that it's going to continue for weeks, according to him. And yet none of them are signing up for the military. You know, you can go to the Army website and sign up and get deployed, right? Go do it. They're perfectly happy putting other Americans out there on the front lines, putting their lives in danger. 3 Americans have already died. But they sit from the comfort of their homes in the United States and type on their keyboards and say, yeah, war in Iran, let's keep going. Pathetic. Pathetic. These warmongers who voted for the peace president in a year completely flip and they're saying, yeah, let's keep going. Disgusting, man.
And that's not the end. That's not the end. Please relax. Enjoy your front seat. We are still talking to you.